a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Welcome to the Restricted section, the podcast that is actually a memoir of how I learned that Harry Potter is kind of not that good in a lot of ways. And let this chapter be an example for you. If you haven't done the reading, don't worry, we did it for you. Here's what we're talking about this week. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 18, The Life and Lies of Alice. I almost said Alice. I've been talking about Twilight a lot this week. Albus Dumbledore, in which we read a biography, and kind of not a good one. I'm your host, Christina. My co-host today is my friend Haley. Say hello to the listeners, Haley.
Hello, listeners. I'm Haley, and there's nobody here but us chickens.
It's just us, guys. Can you fucking believe it? Do you remember when I used to have 8 people on every episode?
Don't remind me, dude.
And honestly, Haley, there are very few people I would do this with, but you are one of them.
I am so honored.
Well, thank you for being here. Andrew was supposed to be recording with us because I didn't put a guest on this chapter because it's a terrible chapter. So Andrew was supposed to be recording with us, but he has a new job. He works at a local movie theater, which is awesome. Because his job before that was manual labor, and he's strong and good at it, but let's just say it's not his favorite mid-July activity to be outside hauling furniture.
In Virginia,
and it has been exceptionally hot lately. I've been feeling lately like, do you remember at the beginning of the Order of the Phoenix movie when Petunia is in that coquettish-ass dress just fanning herself?
Oh my god, yes!
That's how I've been feeling lately. So anyway.
It really has been like that.
Andrew, I think it's been at work for like 12 hours, so thoughts and prayers for our friend Andrew. I hope by the time you're listening to this, he is not still there.
I hope by the time you're listening to this, he has shed blood.
Somebody else's blood.
Somebody else's, but I mean, just any blood, really. Just... Violence is the only answer at this point.
Yeah, you guys might have heard that I was trying to say Albus, and I definitely was about to say Alice, and it is because I've been talking about Twilight a lot lately. If you haven't checked out today's Burn Before Reading episode, definitely go do it because we covered the Twilight movie with our friend Rachel over there, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of stuff to talk about. Haley, are you an Alice girly? Or are you guys too similar? Are you into Alice or are you like Alice from Twilight?
I don't know enough about Twilight to answer that question.
Or is it the same? Because Rosalie from Twilight is one of those people that I have a crush on and gender envy for. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about her now. We went to see the movie at our local, like independent theater, and it was...
Where Andrew does not work.
Yeah, a different one, and it was an experience.
I'll never not go see Twilight at the Bird.
Yeah, all the staff were dressed up as vampires. Everybody was talking and screaming.
It was awesome, and when the first couple notes of Supermassive Black Hole dropped, the whole arena burst into applause. Anyway, that's the other podcast. I can't believe there's such a good episode on Burn Before Reading this week, and we have to talk about the life and lies of Albus Dumbledore.
You know,
arguably the dumbest fucking chapter in the entire series.
All about balance, and this is the balance this week.
Let me get a lighter. Oh no, the stoner's dilemma.
You should crochet yourself a lighter leash.
A lighter? Oh, a lighter lead. Well, I have too many lighters. That's the trouble. I have one in every room. But that is what I made Andrew for his birthday, as you well know, Haley.
Yeah.
That tidbit was for the listeners. Where the fuck?
She started with a practice one, and she was using thread that looked pink, and...
Okay, I'm gonna go look for a lighter. You tell them the story.
Okay, so if you've ever done any fiber arts-related activity, you might know that what the colors look like on like, the skein of thread isn't always what they end up looking like when they're next to other colors. So, long story short, Tina picked out pink, and it was more of a flesh-toned peach, and she made a little mushroom, and it looked like a dick.
I just think that red and yellow are standard mushroom colors, but it was so penisy.
It really was.
So Sean and I have 4 cats, and we have 2 offices. We have a 3-bedroom house, so 2 of them are offices. And we have a big fat litter box that goes back and forth between the 2 offices because his office, I call it the nursery because it's a room for a baby. It's very small in there. I have a lot more projects than he does, and I have the guest bed situation in my office, so we keep the litter box in my office because the ventilation is better until someone comes to visit. And my friend Alex, you might know her from my cabbages, came to visit last weekend, and so the litter box has been in Sean's room. That means that along with the litter box, our upstairs candle and lighter also travel from room to room. Because Cora takes fat shits, and sometimes you just can't take a 30-minute break from working, which is what I usually do when Cora takes a fat shit.
Can confirm they are fat.
Yeah, it's just Cora. They all eat the same food. I don't know what the problem is.
I think that's her spite. I think she's just pooping spite.
Like, we always say, like, all of our cats have, like, one problem. Pepper is an anxious shitter. When she has anxiety, she shits in bad places to let us know. Penny has irritated bowel syndrome or whatever. Dante is severely dehydrated and refuses to eat. And Cora's shits are fouler than like the devil's asshole. Like, they are foul.
Cora's shits are so bad. It's like you could base a D&D campaign off them things. Like, it is.
Oh,
yeah, right.
That's really funny.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pass that on to Sean.
Please do. Please do. I mean, Cora is basically a dragon. What's the difference?
Haley, when we were talking about doing an episode just us, you said this is either going to be really boring or really obnoxious. And I said, well, let's err on the side of obnoxious. And so far, I think we've done a great job.
Honestly, yeah, let's not jinx it, though. I mean, who's to say? We haven't even gotten into the chapter yet. We've been stalling for as long as we can.
I think not getting into the chapter is the right move. But I never smoke during these episodes because I get stupid, but I have a lot of experience being stoned with Haley, so let's see how this goes. Haley, if I go nonverbal, you gotta wrap it up for me.
Okay,
she says as she's hitting the pipe herself. As you mentioned, life is all about balance, and definitely being high and a little tipsy is much better for me socially than being just high. So I also have a 9.5% beer that Courtney keeps leaving. It's Witty Monkey Citrus Wheat Ale by Victory Brewing. They notoriously have these like 9-10% beers, and Courtney keeps leaving them at my house. Like, she didn't leave a bunch. She left like one, and then a couple days later she left another one, and I keep finding just like one of these in my fridge.
I mean, not gonna lie, sometimes when I bring drinks over to your house, I just, like, leave whatever I didn't drink as a beer tax.
No, for sure, and I really appreciate that, and the 4th of July, to the clothing swap, to hanging out last weekend, like, the numbers are growing. That's how I know that we're, like, getting older and more financially stable, is, like, at the end of the party, there's still drinks here, and people don't, like, take them home.
Yeah.
They leave them for me.
Yeah. We were also kind of a well-oiled machine getting everything inside before it rained. Like,
on the 4th?
Yeah, that was quite a mobilization.
Yeah, Haley, that was so long ago. Oh my god.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, that will have been 2 weeks ago. Oh my god. Also, by the time this comes out, our friend Alex is going to have big news. Our friend Zach and Alex, if they haven't gone public, I'll edit this out, but if they have, they're engaged, guys.
What? Why am I saying what? I was
there. On the plans this whole
time. Guys,
Haley will be there.
There is nothing I love more than a scheme. I've been bragging to my mom and my grandma about it.
I mean, okay, I did a good job, and I mentioned that Alex visited last weekend, but today, that's this upcoming weekend, and Zach proposed to her. And God, this is going to be so sad to cut out when she says no, but I've been planning, me and Brooke and Zach have been planning this, and I have this panic at all times that I'm accidentally saying it to Alex's face. And even like right now, Haley, it's like a 1-to-1 conversation, and I know it's just you, but I'm like, but what if Haley is actually Alex?
Yeah, just like looking over your shoulder, like...
And, like, when I go into the planning group chat, and the last thing in the chat is Mary Clay being like, this is the right chat, right? This isn't the chat with Alex in it. And then Brooke being like, no, you're good. This is the right chat. And then I still am like, but what if it's not the right chat? It's kind of like, you remember we talked about when one of your friends changes pronouns and you have to work on it, and then your brain starts flagging all pronouns?
Yeah.
It's like the same kind of instinct where it's like, wait, I cannot speak of this. Oh, I can't speak of this to Alex. Alex is not present. I will know when I'm speaking to Alex because Alex will be there.
But then, of course, what if she's just here? What if you just fucked up?
She's gonna be staying in this very room in my office tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Haley, can you see the quilt back here?
I was wondering.
It's fucking look.
Oh,
man,
nice. That's a good sleeper. Yeah.
It's the Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone era quilt that Sean's grandmother quilted for him back in must have been like 99.
Oh, I always forget that you guys have that.
It's really cute. We have pillowcases to match, and it's like pre-movie Harry. Do you remember the version of Harry that existed before the movies?
Yeah.
You know? So it looks like that. It's a really cute quilt, and it's like for a kid kind of. I mean, it's definitely not big enough for two people. So it's part of my illusion to Alex. I'm like, only one person can fit under this blanket. No one's coming to join you this weekend.
In case you had any suspicions. Which you shouldn't.
Which you don't. Because I'm so well, we just lured her in with girls' night, and hopefully that's all consuming and completely distracting.
I mean, we've got a pretty full schedule. I mean, like, the chat has been buzzing.
I know. We're gonna play Encore. We're gonna drink wine. We're gonna play with Freya. We're gonna... I was gonna say watch a movie, but Brooke doesn't have a TV, so we're definitely not doing that.
We're gonna casually bring up the idea of going to Agecroft.
We're going to be so cool about it. Well, weather dependent, because if it's shitty out, Brooke has a backup that I don't know. Anyway, wow. This is going to be so sad to cut this all out if they also haven't gone public with the news and I'm not allowed to say anything. Maybe I'll just bleep out every important detail so the listeners will be like, what? What? And I'll even bleep out the names so they won't know who to go to. That would be so devious.
Oh, yes!
Haley, last week's Burn Before Reading, I had a really old high school friend on, like someone that I was very good friends with from like age 12 until we left for college. And we were talking about a lot of high school tea. And you know how when you talk about people from high school, you just have to say their first and last name?
Yeah.
I've never done so many bleeps in my life because we bleep last names on that show and we were just dropping last names, dropping them. Bleep, bleep, bleep. All right. Do you want to talk about Harry Potter?
I guess if we have to.
This chapter sucks. I don't want to talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, Hermione stole fucking Rita's book or whatever, and Harry's already mad, and then he is not immune to propaganda.
Don't skip the only part of this chapter that isn't the biography. Harry's like looking out over the sunrise being sad, and in my notes that I wrote 2 years ago I wrote, who am I, sunrise? What am I? I'm funny.
I like the thing that's wild to me about this whole fucking scene is that the thing he is most upset about is just what, like, Dumbledore not telling him shit. Not the fact
not telling you shit.
Yeah, and like not the fact that he just experienced the trauma flashback of the guy trying to kill him, in which he tried to kill him. Like, why is Dumbledore your main concern right now?
He witnessed the murder of his parents, which has been haunting him all these years.
And now he knows exactly what happened through the eyes of their killer, and all he can think
like,
about is
I
his
don't care about
principle.
It's the principle of the thing, really.
I guess it isn't that.
He is very stressed about the loss of his wand in particular, and I do quite relate to this. This is a horrible time for that to happen. He's very vulnerable, and there's that feeling of, like, no wand could replace this wand because he thinks it has, like, magic powers, which kind of does.
I mean, it is a magic wand. It does have...
Oh. I guess I meant, like, beyond that.
Yeah, like author shoehorned it in kind of magic powers that can't really be explained, even by the whole wand allegiance thing, because what the fuck?
Definitely. Well, there's, like, the, like, Priori and Cantatum with, like, the twin cores that I think is extremely cool and interesting wand lore, but then the additional wand lore is weird.
Yeah, like, until this, like, it was all cool until this book was like, actually, it doesn't even have to be the wands in question. It can just be the people that used them. Now they're just connected, question mark.
So stupid. So stupid because Lucius Malfoy's wand that Voldemort was using did not switch loyalties, you know? Like, there's no... Whatever. I was about to say, well, that's a tangent, but...
Well,
God,
I mean, it sure is a tangent from being the real important thing, which is being mad at Dumbledore.
Being mad at... Quote, his fury at Dumbledore broke over him now like lava. So fucking dramatic. Lava?
All I can picture, because, like, I get what she's fucking going for there, but, like... One of my favorite videos on the internet, and I guess this is my plug for today, is Chef Boyardee can Kitty Parade lava. Just look that up on YouTube, those words in that order. And it is a maybe 2.5 minute video of lava slowly encasing a sealed can of Chef Boyardee, which explodes when the beat drops.
That's so metal.
Right? Except the song is Kitty Parade, so it's, like, the most adorable thing you've ever heard.
It's still pretty metal.
And that's all I can picture is the fucking lava from that vid, and just burning the hell out of the Chef Boyardee can.
Well, I mean, I do, like, really understand this feeling. Haley, I know that perhaps, well, I don't know. I have a history, I think, of feeling things very deeply and intensely that maybe you don't have as much. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I have...
Like, a history of letting my emotions, like, really get the better of me.
It's been, honestly, becoming more of a problem as I've gotten...
I know. Yeah. I actually have been noticing that. You've been raging lately, Haley.
Yeah, I've been letting it out a little more. I have taken...
She's a barbarian that got stuck in rage mode.
Yeah, I have taken to throwing things when I get upset. It's not
so
a
funny
great habit.
I worked so hard to stop throwing things while mad when I was about 17 because I had fucked up too many phones. Yeah. Okay, so I really, like, relate to this feeling, even though this line, I wrote it down because it's silly, that the fury broke over him like lava, but, like, I totally understand that feeling of getting so mad that you can feel the heat, like, wash over your body. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's hard. That's like seeing red, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to get out of that or control it or slow it down.
Yeah, and, like, there's kind of nowhere to put it right now, because he's just in the fucking woods.
And, like, speaking of which, Hermione brings him tea, and she's clearly terrified of him, which is not good.
Yeah, like, he does need, like, a moment here to be like, hey, I'm not mad at you, I'm just mad.
Yeah. And he does say that, but I think at the end of the chapter.
Yeah, it's because he...
Yeah, because then he dismisses her.
He is fuming right now. And she really does think it's at her.
It's like, he so had no idea what to do next. And he had, like, the briefest glimmer of hope in Godric's Hollow, and then it got so much worse. Classic narrative arc.
Yeah, save the cat shit.
Take everything away.
I think this is all hope is lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she stole Bathilda's copy of the name of the chapter, The Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore. The Life and Lies of Alice Cullen. Flipping through it, Harry realizes that the thief in question is Grindelwald. And then he does this very relatable thing where he's like, I'm going to skim to figure out what this is. And then he's like, I have to go to the beginning of the paragraph. And then he's like, I'll just read the whole fucking chapter. Fine, I'll read the whole fucking chapter.
What if wizards had Control F?
Yo, for real. I used Control F probably 1,200 times a day.
It's my favorite feature.
I use it so much.
Is that your plug today? Control F?
Control F for Fury. Okay, so then we read a chapter of the book together.
Which is, again, written by Rita fucking Skeeter.
Which is, again, written by J.K. Rowling. The chapter is titled The Greater Good. All of this with a heavy emphasis on, like, allegedly, right? So, as Dumbledore left Hogwarts after graduating and prepared to go around the world with Elphias Doge, news
I think you mean
of his
Elphias
mother's death.
Dog Breath Doge, as he is consistently referred to throughout the chapter.
That's so mean.
I mean, yeah, it's Rita. She's like...
I was like, in my memoir, I'm like, me and my bestie, Haley, shithead Simpkiss.
Well, there's memoirs and there's biographies. A biography is about someone else. You can say whatever the fuck you want in the biography.
And she does.
Yeah, she does.
As the head of household, the reason I'm reading it in this mocking voice is because I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. I think it's interesting context to the character, who is a character that I don't care about anymore.
Yeah, right, like, it's... in the age of cancel culture, it's just... It's boring. This is boring to us of, like, look at all the shitty things this person said when they were 17. Like, oh, you mean like how everyone alive today said shitty things when they were 17 that is now just preserved forever in the amber of the internet?
Yes, exactly.
Like, it's, what does anything that anyone did when they were 17 prove about them as a person?
It's actually shockingly incredible. A great story of, like, perseverance and endurance that a young white man was on the brink of being radicalized this way and then took a step back.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, damn. Took several steps back, I would say. I mean, still kind of an asshole, but, like, for unrelated reasons.
Yes, different kind of asshole.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the manipulation and such. Like, Harry doesn't not have a reason to be mad. It's just weird that he's mostly mad about this.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. So, I wrote down all these things and I'm like, this is a dumb bullet point. This is a dumb thing to read out loud on my Harry Potter podcast in, like, the final act of the 7-book arc. But okay, as the head of household, Dumbledore let his brother Aberforth run wild. The family knew Bathilda, who Rita brags about getting information from despite her being senile. This is such a hard topic. This is like the when do you take your grandma's car away discussion. You know, like, when can a senile person, like, stop being able to give informed consent?
Yeah, I would say that, wherever that line is, it's well before giving them fucking Veritas serum.
Yes.
Which Rita blithely admits to in her own book.
My next bullet point is, she used Veritas serum.
Oh, bitch, is that legal?
Like... Okay, so we have this rule. We have this rule in the States, I guess you would call it a law, about how you cannot incriminate someone for a crime with unlawfully obtained evidence. And this feels like that. It's like testimony procured under torture, under duress. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's the legal system, and this is, like, not journalism necessarily, but, like, a private citizen essentially writing, like, a book.
It's like journalism adjacent because that's what her career is, and she's just doing it in long form. You
right,
know?
right. But like, I do think that the laws surrounding how journalism is done in like the UK versus the States are also different in a similar.
Oh yeah, because I've heard that the tabloids in the UK are like even way crazier than our very out of control
because
like,
they
paparazzi
are
tabloids.
Yeah, because they have a culture of like bribery, like.
Yeah, and they also have royalty.
Yeah. So like over here there's a certain like journalistic, there's supposed to be a certain like journalistic integrity. So like if you're taking bribes, if you're taking information that was like obtained in an immoral way, you at least have to try to cover that up because like you'll get in trouble. And I don't think the UK has like that system in place as much.
Did you ever get in trouble as a kid? My dad did this a couple times, but I don't think my mom, where he was like, you did this dumbly. Like, if you had been smarter, you would have gotten away with it. But you did it dumbly, and that's your fault. That's why I'm mad. You know what I mean?
No, my parents would usually go for the, no, it's wrong to do anything wrong ever.
Well, and you also were a pretty good kid.
Well, I was an only child. There was nothing to act out against.
Well, I remember the first time I drank, I was like 15, and I was in my basement, which I had a very large house, so the basement was farther away from my parents than you would think. But my dad was like, you were drunk and shrieking. Like, of course I heard you in my bedroom. I'm in this house. Like, we have woods. You should go into the woods. Like, go away from here where I cannot hear you. There are several things like that with my dad.
Honestly, I respect that so hard. I'm gonna get another drink, speaking of drinks.
Okay. Well, listeners, let's see. I was going to say let's keep going on these notes without Haley while she's getting a drink, but it's just going to be boring because the subject matter is not inherently good. And here she is. She's back, so don't even worry about it. Haley.
Yes.
At this point, I don't know why I'm like really making myself laugh right now. At this point in my notes, which again, I took very literally 2 years ago. It was over the summer when I worked at the brewery. At this point, I started calling Grindelwald Grinder in my notes. Like the app, Grindr.
Yes! Oh my god, I love that, actually.
So we got Dumb and Grinder. Those are the two characters.
I hope that's what they called each other.
It's like a gay Beavis and Butthead. I'm assuming Beavis and Butthead weren't brothers. I'm not familiar with that show.
Me either.
Okay, great. So they're definitely not brothers.
Blind leading the blind here.
Okay, wait. I got it. Are Beavis and Butthead. They're half brothers. Fuck. Okay, we walk it back. Okay,
okay. I did not know that. See, listeners,
for some reason I just got the vibe.
This is how you get this. This is how you face information that you don't know and we're just blithely wrong about. You look it up and then you say, "Ha! I did not know that." It's that easy.
Yeah, it is that easy. I love Googling stuff. Like, I love not knowing, and then suddenly, you just know.
Yeah. Guess what I've been dealing with a lot at work lately, anyway.
I really, that's the greatest thing about the internet, is the way that I can just learn something right away.
What a time to be alive.
I know, because, think about how much I run my mouth and how wrong I can be. Like, I'm right a lot of the time, but I talk enough that I'm still also wrong a lot of the time. And imagine if I was just out here saying things with my confidence and no way to look them up. That would be dangerous.
Yeah, you'd be leading a cult by now.
There was that one time that I said that I thought Chili's restaurant was spelled with 2 L's, and I was so sure that Josh was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "I'm so sure." And he was like, interesting. And then he said, "Well, I worked there, and I think it was 1." And I was like, "You should be more confident if you worked there." And I'm just talking with my stupid meat mouth.
My stupid meat mouth.
Okay, so Grindelwald is Batilda's grandnephew, which that's also a very pre-internet that, she was still allowed to be a public scholar after that, you know?
Right, and, also, the fact that the paragraph right before that, they're referring to the fact that the twisted experiments, quote-unquote, of Grinder Grindelwald got him expelled. So, like...
Yes.
And then, like, apparently all that's known about his life after that is that he traveled abroad for a while. Come to find out, that was in Britain, visiting his great-auntie, who, did she know about the twisted experiments, quote-unquote?
Maybe she heard he got expelled, because, like, if my nephew got expelled, I would definitely take him in. If he got expelled for doing dangerous experiments, which to me reads as like bodily harm to humans and or animals, you know, then that's when I would maybe worry for my own safety, you know, and maybe not do that.
Right. So like maybe maybe his parents had like a Petunia and Vernon Dursley thing going on of like, our sweet little Grinder, he could never. They're making up nasty lies about him at that school. Auntie Bathilda, can't you take him in for a while?
And I would totally fall for that if I loved my nephew. I know it's her grandnephew.
Yeah.
Is it great nephew?
I believe so, yeah.
Because I wrote down grandnephew, and that sounds just very wrong, even though it makes more sense, technically.
It does. Yeah.
Interesting. So then we get a little bit of a mini Grinder bio, you know, like I have 2 Yorkies, I shave my whole body, I run every morning, or like whatever the gays be doing.
I feel like all of that would be true. If not of all the gays, then certainly Grinder. Like, he seems like that kind of dude.
Okay, so here's the bio about Grindelwald. Him and Dumb became friends. They were doing like white bro philosophy bullshit. Have you ever been to college? Those guys. There's a letter about them. Okay, there's a letter between them. I wrote about them, but who wrote it to who?
It was, okay, so,
you got
it was a letter that, Bathilda still had that Albus had sent to fucking Grinder. So, yes, even after they'd spent all day in discussion, both such brilliant young boys, they got on like a cauldron on fire. I'd sometimes hear an owl tapping at Gellert's bedroom window, delivering a letter from Albus. An idea would have struck him, and he had to let Gellert know immediately. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. I'm sure it wasn't sexting. Just a piece of parchment. It says WYD? Question mark. Another one. You up?
Okay. WYD, and Bathilda's like, what does this say? And what does he say? It says, wand. Want your dick. Wait, no, not that. Not that. Like, we, yes, do study, but that's...
I think want your something, like, what's a synonym for opinion that starts with a D? Want your
discourse.
Ah, there it is. Want your discourse.
I want your dastardly face on my mouth. I had the word dastardly and I had to finish the sentence.
Yes, we've been having very inspired intercourse, by which I mean conversations.
Oh my God.
There were many ejaculations.
That's a classic, like, I call them, like, the Pride and Prejudice, or even, like, the Shakespeare. You read it and you're like, what is it, is it Much Ado About Nothing, or, like, what is it when there's much talk of, oh, no, it is Pride and Prejudice. I'm so fucking stupid, guys. If I just went quiet for 5 seconds like Sean does, you wouldn't have to hear any of this. In Pride and Prejudice, I believe, there is much talk from Mr. Bennet about other men making love to him, and it just means, like, kind of like ass kissing, you know? But reading it today, it's like very funny, and that intercourse is one of those words that's the same, where in Pride and Prejudice it's like, oh, intercourse, and then you're like, oh no, this is a 10-page handwritten letter.
Yeah, want your discourse.
That's pretty good. So they're talking about magician dominance is for the muggle's own good, the greater good. Eek, big eek.
Yeah. Strong, noblesse oblige vibes. Like, tell me you come from the British upper class without telling me you come from the British upper class.
Yes.
Yeah.
And eventually, Dumb and Grinder separated, never to see each other again until their duel, which is the hottest thing I've ever heard. That energy. Lovers to enemies is there's so much tension there.
Yeah, there is. So many kinds of it. Although they did break up over Dumbledore's sister dying violently, so that's kind of a deal breaker. So did not want us discourse after that.
Basically what happened, which it's phrased cagily here, but I think at the end of the book, Dumbledore clarifies it. But what happens is, like, Aberforth, Dumbledore, and Grindelwald got into a fight about, I don't know, methods?
I can't remember. I think it was that, like, Albus wanted to run off with Grinder.
And Aberforth didn't?
And Aberforth was
want
like...
him to do that?
Yeah, Aberforth was like, hey man, I can't... this is a two-person job keeping this house going. Like, you literally cannot just, like, run off and abandon us. I think that's what it was.
They got into a big fight, with magic, and, like, someone's spell hit Ariana and she died. Which, does that mean... I mean, we don't know, but what do you think? Like, was it some other spell that, like, got her wrong? Or do you think they were, like, fucking aiming to kill each other?
Yeah, that's a toughie, because I was wondering that, too. I can't see them aiming to kill each other.
I know.
But, like, there's just plenty of other spells that can. Like, obviously not Sectum Sempra, because that hadn't been invented yet, but, like, stuff that can do bodily harm, or just, like, stuff that can cause collateral damage that then causes bodily harm. Like, like smashing a bookshelf and then it falls on her.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. That sounds right. And she also is, like, really... I mean, it's unclear if she's, like... Here's the thing. They talk about her being, like, sick and frail, and some people are like, that's because she was a squib. And some people are like, no, she must not have been a squib. She was just abused. What if she had cystic fibrosis? Like, what if she had, like, an actual chronic illness that a magician would never seek to diagnose? You know what I mean? What if she had chronic fatigue or something?
Like, what if... I mean, there's every possibility that she just had, like, some kind of, like disorder that made it hard to focus magic, which, like, wow, that would have been a lot easier
ADHD would probably be hard for that, right?
Yeah, probably. I
Dyslexia, all those Latin words.
Don't give me a fucking wand, are you kidding? Like, and it sounds like, you know, the trauma from whatever happened with those kids when she was really young would have traumatized her, but it sounds like there's more going on with Ariana that, like, makes her magic erratic. Because it sounds like it would kind of, like, burst out sometimes, and, like, in a way that would cause damage. But it's really not made clear, and you know what could have made it a lot clearer is more clearly establishing the rules of magic before the last book in the series. Anyway.
Yeah, and then they get into, in, like, Fantastic Beasts, they get into the, what is it called? Like, Obscurus bullshit. About, like, repressed magic. Yeah, okay, let's not even touch there. Let's not go to Camelot. It is a silly place. So, was I drunk? These notes are funny, and I mentioned, I was working at a brewery at the time, and I drank a lot of free beer. It says, Haley, I'm gonna put this in this is exactly how it's written in my notes. I'm gonna put it in the Zoom chat. It's how did she die? With a bunch of question marks, exclamation points. It says evil with a bunch of question marks, a capital W, question mark, at symbol, question mark.
It's
so I don't
honestly,
know
this looks like XXX bloody wrists XXX or whatever. It's it's giving my immortal.
It's giving my immortal. So back to the present. Oh wait, it sucks here. It's really bad. So they're, like, stressed about what they just read. Hermione's like, but they were young. And Harry's like, but we're young.
And they're putting all of this fucking responsibility on us. It's like, yeah, that is legit unfair, but, like, they didn't they didn't just live through a wizard war, so, like...
Yeah. And
they're...
also, like, young doesn't mean anything, because, like, I call myself young still. I'm just a little baby.
Right. I don't know, man. It's... Some people make the right choices at 17 when it comes to, like, you know, things that they regret. And some people don't, but, like, if you don't, that doesn't mean anything about you. And like, the whole tone of, like, the end of that chapter that, like, Rita, quote-unquote, wrote is very much like, yeah, I'm sure some of his lingering fans might say that, like, oh, he was just a young, like, teenage idiot asshole. And it's like, yeah? Because he was?
I'm just a teenage asshole, baby.
I was about to go into, and life is a nightmare.
Okay, so Hermione emphasizes that Dumbledore changed, which is allowed. And also, it's good. And I agree with that. Listen to Burn Before Reading. But, like, for real, change is good. Like, you can't... Okay, so I used to do this... Talking about getting in trouble with my parents a lot today, because we were talking about the emotional outburst first and then drinking in the basement, and now... Oh, fuck. What was I going to say, though?
Being young, making mistakes, parents.
I know. Hold on. Fuck.
Well.
It totally slipped my mind. It was really good. Oh, no, I remembered, Haley. Oh, my God. That's incredible. I literally remember.
Oh, my God. It's like when you try to sneeze, and then you don't sneeze, and then you're all heartbroken about the lost sneeze, and then you sneeze out of nowhere.
You have to let me say it, though, or I'm going to forget. Okay, so when I was a kid, I got in trouble a lot. I said that already. I liked to test my boundaries. I've always been very independent. So I got in trouble so much. And one of my tactics for dealing with that, with my parents specifically, is that I would diffuse the timeline of my transgressions, right? Okay, so for example... I got my nose pierced when I was living under my mom's roof, but I was like 18 or 19. Okay. And I was working at Claire's, so I was like 19. And I wore a fake nose stud for like 4 months. And then I got my nose pierced. And like 4 months later, my mom was like, when are you going to take that fucking fake ass nose ring off? And I was like, joke's on you. It's been real almost this whole time. And you can't get mad at me because I did this months ago. You know what I mean?
That is an actual psychological thing of, like...
There's, like, a lot of stuff like that where I'm like, well, if I can hide this for as long as possible, they really can't get that nearly as mad as they could, like, catching me in the act.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So...
There's a law of diminishing returns with people's emotional reactions to things that you have already done.
So, thank you. That's the bridge to Dumbledore, because this was, 112 years ago? Like, how long ago was this?
I think he died at 120 something, so...
Okay, so it's like 100 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a full fucking century.
So, like, maybe don't... Do you know how horrible white people were a century ago? Like, just maybe give him room for growth. I'm not... Y'all have never heard me defend Dumbledore on this show, but Harry is so mad about stuff that... They're tripping about stuff that happened literally so long ago.
And it's like, dude, I get that you're upset about the whole, like, lack of disclosure thing and, like, the things that he's expecting from you. And you know what? I'm glad that you're finally getting mad about that right now. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you're having this outburst. But, like, it's not all... everything that is causing your emotional reaction is not, like, an actual thing to be mad at.
Yes.
Like, yes. You're letting yourself get fueled into this direction because it's the direction you want to be going anyway.
Yes. And Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say again, but it wasn't nearly as good as last time, so it was just like a filler thing to get to the next to get into the next step. Okay, so I'm gonna continue not smoking weed when I record this podcast, but I am having a great time. I'm being dumb without getting antisocial, which is pretty fun.
We're doing great.
Harry is just like a blazing pillar of emotion, and
he's the Chef Boyardee can exploding to Kitty Parade in the lava.
And I just think like so many children in this world miss out on so much like education, and he has missed out on a lot of stuff. And the thing I'm saying right now is like emotional regulation. It's like something that a lot of people have to just learn very manually. My friend, our friend Mia had a baby, and he's a Cancer sign. And I was like, Cancer signs are, like me. And I was like, Cancer signs are great, but water sign, very emotional, blazing summer sun energy. You gotta start working on the emotional processing like really early. Because I had to teach myself emotional processing when I was like 23. And that shit's hard. So who's ever taught Harry how to process anything?
No one. Possibly Hermione? She's trying right now, but...
Oh my god.
I'm not saying who should have been teaching him. That answer is obvious. Everybody else. But, like, the person who's done the most to be like, hey, maybe you should stop and think is in fact Hermione.
I mean...
Kind of Remus Lupin, a little bit. Maybe a little bit Arthur Weasley, but, like, he hasn't had that many chances.
Reacts... He's the only person in this book reacting more poorly than
I was talking about before this book. Remus is having a moment. He's not at his best right now. I liked him better when he was depressed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I just think that this is why you have to send kids to, like, preschool and stuff to give them the foundation. I guess Harry went to school, but Ronald didn't. That's what I was thinking of. Anyway, Harry is full of rage. He has a brief... My notes. Harry has a brief Nick Cage level 7 outburst. That timestamps when I read this so much, Haley. Because...
It really is, though. It really is. He starts changing registers and, like...
Because the
like
summer that I was writing these notes was my Age of Cage, which, by the way, I have not finished watching every Nick Cage movie. I have 10 left, and I just refuse to watch them. Some of them I can't get my hands on, so that's one thing. Even digging through the internets. But...
Nice save.
I was watching Once Upon a Time today, so I was like, ooh, say something about piracy. And then I'm like, no, that's what it's called. You can't call it that.
You wouldn't download I don't know. What were we talking about? Just now.
A Nicolas Cage movie.
You wouldn't download Nicolas Cage.
Okay, so, and then so Sean also watched almost like 100 Nick Cage movies with me in a year.
Which, if anything, is proof that man loves you.
No, Sean loves terrible action movies. That's the greatest thing about him. He loves them so much. He'll watch any action movie, the good ones and the bad ones, and he is the same amount of entertained by like everyone. It's so endearing. But he and I, throughout every Nick Cage movie, we would be rating Nick Cage's like level of intensity constantly, and like very rarely does he go to a level 10 of what he can do. Right?
When does he? What's your top? What's a level 10 outburst?
Man,
are we talking like Mom and Dad?
I was gonna give Mom and Dad a 9.
Okay.
And the only thing that takes it down is that it's like pretty absurdist, and he's only hurting himself. But that's a huge freak out. I would have to I would have to look at a list of his movies to think about his greatest freak outs.
He does start singing the Hokey Pokey at one point.
It's so unhinged. I love it so much.
Is that our plug?
Mom and Dad is great.
It's fantastic.
So, Harry has a brief Nick Cage level 7 outburst about the horrible burden that Dumbledore has placed upon him, which...
Fair.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
I'm reading it right now and imagining him, like, just veering into the hokey pokey.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he asked from me, Hermione. Risk your life, Harry. And again, you do the fucking hokey pokey and you fucking smash. Turn yourself about. Smash, smash.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that I have called Daniel Radcliffe our generation's Nicolas Cage, because they do have, like, very similar energies of being, like, hot in an I can't quite put my finger on it way, and, like, being, I think, mostly pleasant IRL, but in their movies having this, like, absolute, like, convincing, intense insanity and intensity. I said intense already, but...
I think Daniel's a little more understated, but I do see what you mean. It's more
it's
of a
the British restraint.
Yeah, it's more of a sleeper thing with him. He starts out looking so small and innocent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
With Nick Cage,
Nick Cage comes on looking like Nick Cage, and he's looked almost exactly the same his whole career until recently. He's been getting a little gillfish. Grandpa'd like to fuck.
Good for you, Tina. Good for you.
Okay. Harry Potter dismisses Hermione Granger. He says, "You can go," or he says, "I got this."
Thanks for the tea, though.
It was like Hermione recognized the dismissal, and, like, I don't like how afraid she obviously is of him and his anger. That makes me upset and sad and scared for her.
Well, it's all right. Next chapter, that's all over.
What even is the next chapter? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Don't say it. Let them wonder.
Okay. Someone else is stepping up.
Oh, thank God this book gets going soon. Okay, because by the end of August we'll have... Wait, when does this come out? Yeah, by the end of August we'll have the first film. So, we're almost halfway there, gang.
Man. Halfway there, living on a prayer.
Oh, also, it's my birthday on Monday.
Oh.
So feel free to... Haley, not your Monday, the listener Monday.
Yeah, no, happy early birthday from the future.
Listeners, feel free to tell me happy birthday because I love talking to people. Although your birthday is kind of a nightmare of people wishing you happy birthday. But what it is when my dad doesn't care. Like, my mom doesn't care either. Like Sean's mom. Someone who I respect. Or like my grandma in the olden days when she was still with us, not calling me until 5 p.m. on my birthday to say happy birthday, and I'm already so drunk by then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I have to answer the phone. It's my birthday. So what I do is I tell people, hey, if they don't answer the phone, I'm like, hey, happy birthday. My gift to you is you don't have to call me back.
I love that. That's actually brilliant.
Don't call me back. Haley, do you have any last thoughts about this chapter? This illuminating, wonderful chapter?
Rita Skeeter is J.K. Rowling's attempt to write bad on purpose, and, she did a pretty good job with that, I guess.
It's when she writes bad by accident. That's what we're interested in.
But yeah, those are all my thoughts. Glad we got this one out of the way.
No thoughts, just...
No thoughts, just rage.
Just rage, thank you. I was like... Sometimes you have to start the joke, and, like, a lot of the times you find the punchline on your way there.
I
but
mean...
sometimes you just stall out and there's nothing.
There's so many moments, aren't there, where, like, we just say out, like there's a joke in there somewhere. There's a joke in there somewhere. What is it? And then we all just workshop our way towards it. It's great.
Yeah.
Your discourse.
I'm trying to think. That happened to me recently where, yeah, I love it. What do you call it in basketball? An alley-oop, right?
Why are you asking me for confirmation?
I'm not asking you. I was asking the listeners.
All right.
But Haley, I believe an alley-oop is when someone throws a bit of a distant or haphazard shot at the hoop, knowing they have a teammate nearby who will jump up and get it that last distance.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
If that's what that is, then yeah.
Alley-oop. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, well, let's move on to plugs. Haley, what are you
Sure.
plugging this week?
Oh, I already plugged it. I can't remember what it was, but I plugged something earlier.
You plugged the fucking video, the can video.
Yes, I stand by that. It's, listen, anytime that you are in dire straits and you just need a quick shot of serotonin to make you smile, I promise you, Kitty Parade Chef Boyardee Lava is there for you.
Hell yeah. Okay. I've been your host, Christina. You know where to find me. And this week, Haley, do you know what I've been rewatching lately?
What?
It's actually like maybe my favorite show ever, tied with Bob's Burgers. Like, it's really, really good.
Archer?
And I just I forgot about, no, man, there's way too much misogyny in that show. Adventure Time.
Adventure Time tied with Bob's Burgers?
It's literally, I think, such a good fucking show.
Oh, you mean like tied like in terms of... Okay, I thought you meant like tie-ins.
No. I meant like tied for my favorite show.
Okay.
I like kind of haven't thought about Adventure Time in like 10 years, and I started rewatching it, and I was like, wait, this show, I forgot, speaks directly to my soul. Like, I love it so much.
I never got into that show personally, but like I do remember years before it was actually on Cartoon Network, Willow like showing me a little animation that was, I think, like, that became the pilot episode that became the whole show. There were a couple things like that. Like, I think that happened with Bee and Puppy Cat, too. Like, she would just find random shit on, like, Newgrounds, and then that would become, like, the pilot for something that became a show. Usually made by Pendleton Ward.
That is Pendleton Ward.
Yep.
Adventure Time.
Yep.
It's just really cute, and I love it so much, and, like, there's so much of it to watch, but they're 10-minute episodes. I cannot describe how much I love a 10-minute episode. That's awesome. So, my plug this week is Adventure Time. I forgot about it, and it's, like, a new epiphany all over again.
Aww.
Rewatching it again. Yeah, I love it. Haley, thanks for doing this with me. Also, oh, man, wait, I forgot. Hold on. Haley, we fucked up.
What happened?
Andrew said, when we said, we're going to just record without you, Andrew, so sorry. He said, just remember to randomly bring up the sadness of the existence of fascism, and it will be like I'm there in spirit.
Okay.
And we haven't brought up fascism once.
Oh, I mean, we did kind of talk about it with Gellert, but like, I mean, fascism...
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Fascism exists, and also authoritarianism in general is a scourge. Question everything, even the things and the people that you agree with most, and that will prevent you from falling into any homoerotic, potentially world-ending, villain hero, enemies to lovers, lovers to enemies situations. You're welcome.
Man, I'm reading Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingler right now, and it's about a gay conversion camp, and so the main character is, like, deeply indoctrinated into religion, and a lot of what you just said is, like, what I've been reading today. A lot of, like, I swear that I can believe without seeing anything, and it's like, okay.
All right.
Question everything. Constant vigilance.
Constant vigilance!
All right, well, this episode is dedicated to our homie Andrew and Haley. I love you.
Love you too, babe.
Oh, listeners, I love you too.
Oh, also that. And and I'm sexually attracted to you.
Oh, only if you consent to it. If you don't, write us a letter.
I didn't say I'm gonna do anything about it. I just said that I am on principle sexually attracted.
Okay. All right, as long as you're 18. Yeah. All right, let's go kill Voldemort.
Yeah! Wait, where's Ron? Shit, where's Ron?
Wait, what?
Where's Ron? We need Ron. He's coming in next chapter.
Okay, we do need Ron, okay, to go kill Voldemort. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll kill him next week after we get Ron.
Yeah. Spoilers, we're getting Ron. All spoilers all the time.
It's okay, the episode's over.
Okay.
That's it, potheads. Thanks for listening to The Restricted Section. Hosted and produced by me, Christina Kahn. Theme music produced by Ryan Kahn. Logo designed by Michael Hardison. Please don't find us on social media. I am not doing anything there. However, you are welcome to join our Patreon. For $1 a month, you can gain access to our Discord server, which is a lot of fun. And for $5 a month, you get access to our monthly bonus episodes. There's also a $10 and a $20 tier as well. So please go check that out. We are honored to be part of Deus Ex Media Podcast Network, which features lots of wonderful podcasts for nerds, including this one.
Have you ever wondered what is going on in someone's head? No, this isn't an opportunity to learn how to read minds. It's an opportunity to listen to interesting conversations on Content and Capable. Join me every Monday as I discuss a wide range of topics with my guests and go on a journey, figuring out how to feel content pursuing our passions and capable in the complex world around us. Find Content and Capable wherever you get podcasts, and I can't wait to meet you along the journey.
Also, by the time this comes out, our friend is gonna have big news. our friend, if they haven't gone public, I'll edit this out, but if they have, they're
What? Why am I saying what? I was
you've been in on the
there.
plans this whole
Yeah,
time.
guys,
Haley will be there.
There is nothing I love more than a scheme. I've been bragging to my mom and my grandma about it.
God, this is gonna be so sad to cut out when. But I have this. I've been planning. Me and have been planning this, and I have this panic at all times that I'm accidentally saying it to face. And even like right now, Haley, it's like a 1-to-1 conversation, and I know it's just you, but I'm like, but what if Haley is actually?
Yeah, just like looking over your shoulder, like.
Deus Ex Media.